and welcome back to the Football Rundown. We're here to preview the big games in League 2 on New Year's Day as Stockport County take on second place Mansfield Town, whilst Wrexham take on Barrow, of course, third and fourth. It's a top four clash in League 2 on New Year's Day. It's going to be one to look out for, of course. Stockport County still top of the table, but not by that many points now, of course, after dropping a few defeats. Since we ended that winning streak, we've allowed teams like Mansfield to gain momentum on us, and they sit just behind us now in the table. We take a quick look at the league table. Stockport County are still top of the table on 51 points, with Mansfield second on 46 points with 2 games in hand. Wrexham in third on 46 points as well with just a game in hand. Barrow on 45 points with a game in hand as well. From a Stockport County point of view, I think it's important that Stockport, of course, do get the 3 points after dropping points against Bradford and Barrow over the last 2 games. It's really important that we make sure to get 3 points, against Mansfield and then, Edgeley Park on New Year's Day. But of course, we also need to make sure that Barrow and Wrexham draw with one another, so that's the ideal situation from a Stockport County point of view. Of course, if Stockport County do take 3 points against Mansfield at Edgeley Park tomorrow, it will see Wrexham, if Wrexham draw with Barrow, it will see Wrexham go up into second, I think. So it's, it could be an interesting one, but I do think that Wrexham will probably be the favourites against Barrow. Stockport versus Mansfield, I'm not really sure who's the favourites. Possibly Stockport with the home advantage in the run they've been in, but Mansfield seem really solid, so that's a bit more of a tricky tie. But even Barrow Wrexham's going to be a tough one as well. So we'll just focus on Stockport Mansfield to start with. Last 5 league games for both sides. Stockport have got 3 draws and 2 wins in the last 5. It's not been the best of form for County. Mansfield 2 draws and 3 wins. It's reverse results for both Stockport and Mansfield over the last 5 league games. Mansfield's last defeat came against Swindon on the 25th of November. I think that's the day that County had that defeat against Newport. They're the joint second most informed team in the last 5 league matches in League 2, alongside Barrow, with MK Dons the most informed in the last 5 league games with 4 wins and a draw. I have to say, I think this game tomorrow, I don't think we're going to see it be a particularly tight game in terms of, I don't think it'll be a 1-0. And a big reason for that might be the fact that Mansfield have not been involved in the game with less than 2 goals since early October. So of course Mansfield Town beat Stockport County 3-2 early in the season, even though Stockport were 2-1 up at half time away from home in that fixture. This would be Stockport's last defeat in League 2 until they lost to Newport County on the 25th of November. During that period, Stockport would go on to, of course, win 12 matches in a row. That was close to, in a run that was close to breaking records. Stockport have been hit with injuries since, and form has understandably dipped. However, County have managed to remain at the top of the table throughout, though the lead at the top has become less and less, resulting in this, of course, exciting New Year's Day fixture becoming extremely important for both sides. So if we just look at Wrexham and Barrow now. So Wrexham in the last 5 league games have taken 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss, while Barrow have 3 wins and 2 draws from the last 5 league games. Wrexham were beaten by Walsall in the last match. That was their first league defeat since being beaten by Accrington Stanley 2-0 on the 18th of November. Wrexham drew with Barrow away in the reversed fixture earlier this season. Wrexham ranked 3rd for goals scored in League 2 behind Notts County and Stockport County, who have both scored, I think, 53 league goals so far this season. Barrow have taken just 2 points against the league's top 4 so far this season from 4 matches. They're yet to play, of course, Wrexham and Mansfield, who they'll take on for their second time in the next second half of the season. Barrow have the best defensive record, or the second best defensive record in League 2 this season. I think they've conceded just 20 goals in League 2 this season. And defender James Chester has just signed a new deal with the Bluebirds. So there we go, one of the highest scorers in League 2 in Wrexham, ranked 3rd for goals scored in League 2 this season, against one of the team's best defensive records in League 2 this season. It should be an interesting game for Barrow and Wrexham. Of course, Barrow did relatively well against Stockport County as well. Got 2 very early goals, but managed to let that lead slip, but still managed to take a point from the game. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with Wrexham, who, of course, when you look at the game against Barrow and County were the league's top scorers at that point in time. Barrow had the best defensive record, so it was the team's best attacking team, I suppose, against the team's best defensive team, the league's best defensive team. And, as I say, they managed to get 2 goals early on, but let that lead slip, and County managed to get a point in the end, and probably should have got more from it. So it'll be interesting to see how this game pans out for Barrow against Wrexham. Look, we're gonna get to that point now where we're gonna start talking about getting a prediction for this kind of game. But Stockport have lost just once at home in League Two all season. Of course, that was Gillingham on the opening day. Meanwhile, Mansfield have the second best record away from home this season, losing just once away from home. I think that's been their only defeat in League Two all season as well. From the other 11 away matches this season, they've collected 23 points with 5 draws and 6 wins. Like Stockport, Wrexham have only lost one league game at home all season. However, Barrow have collected the most points in League Two away from home this season. They've lost 3 games away from home, though, in that same time. So, as I say, we're now going to make a prediction on what is a massive set of games, in League Two on New Year's Day. Stockport County, for me, of course, maybe a bit of bias kicking in, but I think I have to go with a Stockport County win against Mansfield. Mansfield have been really, really solid. Best defensive record in League Two this season. I know them and Barrow kind of changed that stat each week in terms of one concedes more than the other, so they're almost dovetailing one at the moment for the best defensive record. But Mansfield have been really, really solid altogether. And as I say, just the one defeat in League Two all season. But I'd have to go with Stockport County win at home. I think, is that heart over head? I'm not too sure. But I will go with a 2-1 score prediction. Like I say, Mansfield haven't been involved in the game with less than 2 goals for some time, so I do think there'll be goals in this game at Edgeley Park tomorrow. I do think the County fans will be up for it, and I do think that we'll come back with 3 points. I think we've got to. Then, of course, you've got Wrexham, one of the best attacking teams in League Two themselves, with, of course, ranking 3rd with the most goals in League Two this season against a Barrow side that are good at keeping the ball at the back of the net. But not so good at putting the ball in the opposition back in the net themselves. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game pans out. As I say, they took an early lead against County, 2 goals up, but they messed it up. And of course, went 2-1 at half time. And of course, Stockport got one back in the second half as well to level 2-2. I'd expect that there would be goals in this game against Wrexham and Barrow, but I just think that Wrexham might be a bit more up for it. Of course, they will have the benefit of seeing what Barrow did against Stockport, and they'll be a bit more wary now going into this kind of game. So I think Wrexham will be well set up for this Barrow side. It's also made easier for Wrexham by the fact, I suppose, they're at home, where Stockport were away from home. Obviously, Barrow is a difficult place to go because the way they set up the away end, they make it very difficult to maintain the atmosphere. Everyone's a little bit divided away from one another in separate stands. I think that can dilute the atmosphere a little bit, which can play into Barrow's hands. So away from home against a team that, as I say, is very potent in front of the goal. For me, Wrexham win this game 2-0. Of course, we'll just look at the league table as well. If this was to pan out, as I've predicted, Stockport County would be top of the table on 54 points, I think. Wrexham would be on 49 points. Mansfield would be on 46 points and Barrow would be on 45, though they should stay in 4th, as even if Notts County win, they have a goal difference that is +6 higher than Notts County. So there we go then, that's my thoughts on what is going to be a mega New Year's Day in League 2. I want to get people's thoughts on this massive set of fixtures in League 2 on New Year's Day. It's almost deliberate the way it's fallen. So it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out, as I say. But all teams are expecting a win, or not expecting, but all teams are hoping for a win. But I have to say, I think Stockport County have to win this game, and I do believe they will. As I say, if that is that a heart over head, I'm not so sure. But I want to get people's thoughts, score predictions on Stockport versus Mansfield. I also want to get people's thoughts and score predictions on Wrexham versus Barrow. How's this going to pan out on New Year's Day? Are you looking forward to the New Year? And what is your best memory in League 2 in 2023 as we approach 2024? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, as we're trying to get to 500 subscribers. Maybe we can even make it happen by midnight. But, I'm hoping so. But as always, thanks for supporting the channel, and thanks for watching.